It's happened again. Another eerie comment from someone not directly connected to a presidential candidate, but forcing the campaign to respond. This time it's from rocker and Romney supporter Ted Nugent. The Secret Service is following up on remarks Nugent made at the NRA convention over the weekend.
If Barack Obama becomes the president in November again, I will either be dead or in jail by this time next year. We are patriots. We are Braveheart. We need to ride into that battlefield and chop their heads off in November.
Nugent follows Hillary Rosen, Bill Maher, Rush Limbaugh, Foster Freeze, and others whose statements have become fodder for the opposition, even though they don't have an official role with a campaign. And as Politico points out today, in this era of Twitter, social media, and cable TV, it's making it harder than ever for the campaigns to control their carefully crafted message. Let's bring back Huffington Post senior political reporter Amanda Terkel and David Korn, MSNBC political analyst and author of the new book, Showdown. So, David, Democrats jumped all over the remarks by Nugent, putting out this video.
Ted Nugent, he said he had a great conversation with you, and if Ted says you're okay, he endorsed you, I'm pretty tempted to do the same thing.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, it's been fun getting to know him and Ted Nugent.
Well, the Romney campaign quickly put out a statement saying, quote, divisive language is offensive no matter what side of the political aisle it comes from. David, they say Romney believes everyone needs to be civil. But is this going to be the year when social media can be any candidate's biggest headache?
Well, it can, and you'll notice that when Hillary Rosen said what she said, whether it was good or bad, the Obama campaign very quickly distanced itself from her and from those specific remarks. Mitt Romney responds with a sort of bland statement calling for civility. Now, I'm tempted to say that this is a lot of silliness and this is part of the silly season. Here's a serious element to this, and that is on the right, for years now, people have been making very violent statements, sometimes violent statements, about Barack Obama, saying that he's not really American. Alan West just days ago said that there were 81 communists in the Democratic caucus in the House. Michelle Bachmann on Hardball called for an investigation of anti-Americanism in Congress and said Barack Obama was anti-American. And so here you have Ted Nugent going out there saying that this administration hates America. It's all part of a piece, and you hear Mitt Romney echo it by saying Barack Obama doesn't understand America. He doesn't get America. The whole message here is that Barack Obama is not really one of us. And that runs this whole spectrum from the far right to the middle right. And that's what I think is most dangerous. And I think that's why Romney is not making a more forceful statement against that. He wants to exploit it.
And when it takes off in the Twitter sphere and then it becomes part of the more mainstream media, it can take a campaign off message. And I'm wondering, Amanda, are there more than these two options? Either you quickly condemn it and you run the risk maybe of alienating your base, or you give your half-hearted disapproval and come across, frankly, as insensitive.
Or you could embrace it, which we aren't seeing many of the candidates do. But you are generally seeing the candidates, and we saw this with Mitt Romney, like David was saying, sort of keeping his head down, hoping that maybe you don't remember that his campaign touted the endorsement of Ted Nugent. But politicians, to some extent, are supposed to also ideally be moral leaders. And you aren't going to encourage civil discourse in this country if you're afraid to stand up and denounce what is serious enough for the Secret Service to investigate. I mean, we don't expect Mitt Romney or Barack Obama to be out there every day denouncing everything every one of their supporters said. But this, to me, rose to a slightly higher level. I mean, he compared the Obama administration and the president to coyotes that need to be shot. You shouldn't be afraid to denounce that and move on.
Yeah, well, David, is the truth that campaigns hate it when they're on the defense in these things, but when it's the opposition surrogate that can't help themselves, they have to go after it and try to use it to their advantage?
I mean, that's certainly true. Campaigns are control freaks. They want to control everything they can, the messaging, and what their surrogates say as well. But I think in this age of Twitter and social media, you know, you lose that control because things become viral so fast. If Ted Nugent had said this, you know, at a rock concert 20 years ago, it might have taken days for anyone to even notice. And, you know, there wouldn't be this immediacy that there must be a comment from the Romney campaign. So I think, by and large, campaigns are going to have to be more prudent in who they associate with, particularly when you're dealing with someone like Ted Nugent, who is a known quantity. In 2007, he held up a machine gun and said, Barack Obama, you can suck on this. So it's not like this is a surprise, yet Romney still sought his support.
David Corn, Amanda Terkel. I was going to ask you if there's any chance that civility returns to the campaign, but I think that was a rhetorical question. Thanks to both of you for being with us. They're laughing. It's the biggest laugh I'm going to get today. Unfortunately, we got to make a tough